Look closely at the face of the moon. Silent, gray, scarred by 1 billion ancient wounds. It is a cosmic graveyard, a museum of violence that has been closed for eons. It is a perfect history book, preserving the memory of a solar system at war. Now look at Earth. Blue, green, serene. It seems to have forgotten the war. On our world, wind, water, and time have erased the evidence of the past. But Earth was not spared. In its youth, this planet was hit 20 times harder. 4 billion years ago, the sky was not a calm expanse. It was a weapon. Imagine standing here. The heavens are not empty. They are falling upon your head. This was not a bad day. This was the reality of every day for millions of years. We call this era the Late Heavy Bombardment, the solar system's final violent audit. The ground beneath your feet is liquefying. The planet is under siege from its own family. Debris left over from creation, the building blocks of planets, turned into missiles. Trillions of tons of rock, aimless, cold, waiting for gravity to seize them. The moon kept its scars because it is dead. Earth healed hers because she is alive. Tectonics and erosion wiped the slate clean, but the evidence remains in the chemistry. Under a dimmer, younger sun, the Earth was being hammered into its final shape. To understand why the sky fell, we must look away from Earth, to the giants. 4 billion years ago, Jupiter and Saturn were not where they are today. They formed much closer to the Sun, tightly packed, restless, dominating the gravity of the system. Beyond them lay a massive reservoir of ice and rock, a sleeping armory of comets. This outer belt was stable, a cold storage for the leftovers of the Sun's birth. But gravity is a relentless force. The giants drifted. They entered a gravitational dance. A resonance. For every 2 orbits Jupiter made, Saturn made exactly 1. This gravitational kick, repeated over millions of years, pumped energy into the system. The rhythm broke the stability. It threw the order of the cosmos into absolute chaos. Neptune and Uranus were shoved outward, thrown into the dark like bowling balls. They plowed into the asteroid belts. The sleeping armory was suddenly awake. Billions of rocks were scattered. Some flew out into the void, some flew in. Directly in their path, unsuspecting and fragile, sat the inner planets, including Earth. It was a shotgun blast from the outer dark, a bombardment that would last millions of years. Jupiter, usually our protector, became our assailant, flinging mountains toward the inner world. Comets from the deep freeze, carrying ice and gas, began their long fall toward the fire. Mars was battered. Mercury was stripped of its crust. Venus was pummeled. But Earth took the brunt of the assault. The gravity of our planet pulled them in. It was not a single event. It was a relentless rain of kinetic energy. Every impact released more energy than all the nuclear weapons in human history combined. The temperature skyrocketed. The crust, barely formed, was melted down again and again. This lasted for 100 million years, a geological blink of an eye, but an eternity. The NICE model explains the mechanics, but it does not explain the horror of the surface. To understand that, we must descend. We must go down to the hell that was home. Welcome to the Hadean Eon, named after the Greek underworld. The name is well earned. There is no blue sky here, only a choking haze of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and rock vapor. The air pressure is crushing. The heat is unbearable. It is a pressure cooker world. The atmosphere itself is a weapon. When a large asteroid hits, it vaporizes the ground. Billions of tons of rock are turned into gas. They rise into the stratosphere. The rock vapor encircles the globe. The planet is wrapped in a blanket of hot silica. Then, it condenses. It does not rain water. It rains liquid glass and molten fire. This global firestorm incinerates everything. The surface is sterilized. But the Earth is stubborn. Between the fires, water condensed. Oceans tried to form. These were not vacation waters. They were nearly boiling, acidic, green with dissolved iron. But the peace was temporary. A single large impact could boil the entire global ocean. In an instant, the seas vanished, flashed into steam. The planet was bone dry. A steam atmosphere, a sauna planet, waiting for the heat to dissipate. Salt crystals formed on the dry basin floors. The Earth waited for the rain. As it cooled, the steam condensed. It rained for 1,000 years. The oceans returned, only to be boiled again by the next rock. A violent cycle. Creation, destruction, evaporation, condensation, a planet stuck in a loop. This was the crucible, a chemical mixer powered by kinetic energy. Energy was everywhere. Heat from below, impacts from above, lightning in between. The surface was being churned. The crust was not allowed to settle. The geography changed every hour. Mountains rose in seconds and vanished in seconds. But in this chaos, the ingredients were mixing. The chemistry was getting interesting. The moon watched it all, but the moon was dry. Earth was wet. And the rocks kept falling. But these were not just stones. They were cargo ships. The bombardment was a delivery system, a cosmic supply chain. Comets are dirty snowballs. They carry the most precious molecule, water. The oceans you swim in today, they arrived drop by drop from the outer dark. And not just water. These rocks carried carbon, the backbone of biology. Space is not empty. It is filled with the ingredients of life. But the surface was hell. If life was to start, it had to hide. Down here, protected from the meteors, shielded by a mile of water. The hydrothermal vents, a flaw in the crust where the Earth's heat escapes. While the surface was being sterilized, this dark world remained safe, a warm sanctuary. These rocks are honeycombed with tiny pores, nature's first test tubes. Here, the chemicals delivered by asteroids met the heat of the Earth. The bombs fell above, but down here they were just distant thuds, a drumbeat. The energy from the bombardment might have actually driven the chemistry, forcing molecules to bond. A boundary formed. Inside became different from outside. The first spark of self. We call it Luca, the last universal common ancestor. Your great-grandmother, 4 billion times removed. We are not children of a peaceful garden. We are survivors of a planetary fortress. Life began in the dark, but it would not stay there. It hungered for the light. Millions of years passed. The rain of rocks began to slow down. The solar system was running out of ammunition. The magazine was finally empty. The Great Heavy Bombardment ended. The siege was lifted. After the fury came the silence, a silence that lasted for eons. Earth was no longer a molten victim. It began to cool. The great healing began. The crust thickened. It became a permanent shield over the chaotic mantle below. The first continents rose, small, barren islands of granite, the nuclei of future lands. The scars didn't disappear. They became geography. Craters became lakes. Basins became seas. And life crept out of the deep vents. It claimed the shallows. It built colonies. They began the long work of terraforming, turning a toxic world into a breathable one. The Hadean was over. The Archean had begun, a world built on the ashes of the old. The moon looked down, scarred and dead, while Earth breathed below. The evidence is written in the stone, a layer of destruction that wraps the entire globe. We can still find it, the signature of the bombardment, buried under our feet. Look around your world today. Everything you see is an inheritance from that war. The water in your glass? It is alien, delivered by ice storms from the outer dark. Every drop you drink traveled billions of miles to get here. The gold on your finger? It shouldn't be here. Gold is heavy. It sank to the core. The gold we mine was a late veneer, a final dusting of precious metal from the asteroids. We mine the wreckage. We build our economy on the debris of a solar system collision. Even our continents. Some theories suggest the impacts cracked the crust, starting plate tectonics. Without those cracks, Earth might be stagnant, dead, like Mars. The rare Earth elements in your phone, concentrated by ancient magma oceans. We fear asteroids today. We watch the sky with dread, but we owe them everything. Without the bombardment, Earth might be dry, cold, or trapped under a stagnant lid. We look for life elsewhere. We look for peaceful, quiet planets. But perhaps we are wrong. A planet without a violent history might be a dead planet. Chaos is a necessary ingredient. Violence is the hammer that forges complexity. Life loves a gradient. It thrives on change. It needs the heat. The moon remembers. It holds the mirror up to our past. It is a silent witness to the time when the sky was on fire. But Earth forgot. Because Earth moved on. Earth healed the wounds, covered the scars with water, green forests, and living things. We walk on the graves of asteroids. We drink the melted comets. 4 billion years separates us from the fire, but the legacy is in our blood. We are the dust of exploded stars, mixed in a cauldron of planetary impact. Stand on the shore. Look up. The sky is calm now. But occasionally, a rock falls, a reminder, a cosmic echo. The debris is still there, waiting in the dark. The giants have settled down, but gravity never sleeps. Fire, water, gold, life, all forged in the same event. Destruction seeded creation. The end of one world was the beginning of ours. We are not lucky to have survived. We are here because it happened. The 100 million year air raid formed us. It broke the world to make it whole. It was the Hadean Eon, the hell that became home. And the ripples are still spreading. From the impact zone to the habitable zone. This is the story of our violent origin. Terra Chronos.